What is up guys, Maxi from Poker Bounty bringing you today the top 5 greatest poker bracelet bets of all time. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and also subscribe to our channel for daily videos like this. Number 5. Elielezra starts the bracelet bets. Bracelet bets were not as always as common as they are today. The high stakes pros were simply not motivated to play in $1,000 events where the top prize might be just $200,000 when that might be the size of a single pot in their cash games. However, in 2007, Doyle Brunson, Phil Ivey, Chip Reese, and Elielezra were discussing whether bracelet bets were as easy to win after the 2003 poker boom as they were before it. Elielezra felt that the sheer size of the fields combined with the availability of strategy information made it much harder to win a WSOP bracelet. Phil Ivey suggested Elezra give him odds of 5-1 on a $100,000 bet, and all of a sudden, the bracelet became interesting. The high-stakes community wanted in, and before you know it, Elezra had similar bets with names such as Doyle Brunson, Chip Reese, Barry Greenstein, Gus Hansen, and David Benjamin. The bet worked out brilliantly for Elezra. Not only did he win about $750,000 in wagers that year laying odds for his friends, but he also took matters into his own hands by winning a bracelet himself. He won the $3,000 7-card stud high-low event for a little under $200,000, nicely plumped up by a $250,000 present from Barry Greenstein, who gave him 10-1 odds. The high-stakes community may have suffered in 2007, but this inspired a renewed interest in bracelet bets that remains to this day. Number 4. Daniel Negrano vs. Phil Ivey. In the year 2014, Daniel Negrano was offering anyone who has $5,000 or more a bet that he or Phil Ivey will win a bracelet in 2014. However, normally he was the one betting against Ivey. The two have a long-standing bet where they both simply pay each other $200,000 whenever the other one wins the bracelet. There are no odds involved. Paying the other man 6 figures is an inevitability. The aim is to make sure he pays you more than you pay him. That year, Negrano had to pay Ivey $200,000 for his WSOP APAC bracelet, but Ivey had to pay Negrano $400,000 for winning both a WSOP, APAC, and WSOP E bracelet the same year. Number 3. Justin Bonamours Panorama Taros bet. A different spin on the bracelet bet came from Justin Bonamours, who, instead of betting on himself, bet on an entire building. In 2009 and 10, he laid odds of 10-1 that at least one resident of the Panorama Towers Hotel would win a bracelet that year. The hotel is a hub for professional poker players and included both players who lived there, were staying there during the series, or even crashing on a friend's couch. Roughly 70 professional pros were expected to stay at the hotel each year, including Antonio Sfandiari, Ike Hexton, Scott Seaver, Steve O'Dwyer, Sean Deeb, Liv Burry, and Sorrel Mitzi. Of course, he was betting on some of the best players in the world to win a bracelet, but with only around 60 events each year, he had still plenty to be concerned about. He was laying very dangerous odds with a minimum bet of $1,000 to his $10,000. It was a good bet each year. However, in 2009, Greg Miller won 2 bracelets, and in 2010, David Baker won 1, both residents of the hotel. Number 2. Tom Duan almost breaks Vegas. Perhaps the most intriguing bracelet bet of all was a story of what would have been involving Tom Dwan. He's not known as a tournament player, but the lure of the bracelet bet sparked his interest and he booked a lot of action, and I mean a lot. Pretty much everyone in the high stakes community bet against Dwan winning a bracelet, giving him odds of 3-1. Some people also made separate bets against him winning 2 bracelets in 3 years. Nobody will exactly know the exact amounts involved, but they were speculated to have been around $9 to $20 million if Dwan had won. Mike Matusow had $30,000 riding on it, Elielezra had $750,000, Phil Ivey had $3 million, and Howard Lederer was also said to have a large amount wagered. So when Dwan found himself heads up for a bracelet in event number 11, the $1,500 No Limit Hold'em event, Vegas got scared. Dwan was facing Simon Watt, an accomplished player from New Zealand who had previously won a big regional event. The atmosphere at the final table was tense. It felt more like a WSOP main event than a seemingly irrelevant prelim tournament. Watt was fighting for $614,000 first prize, yet also to deny Tom Dwan a pot of 20 times more than that. The high-stakes community was on the ropes. Huck Seed, who had $300,000 bet against Duan, was so convinced that he had already lost his bet, that he actually wired Dwan the money before the match was even over. However, it was Simon Watt who prevailed in the event, notching his place in the history books as winning $614,000, but should be better known as the man that denied Tom Dwan a multi-million prize and kept the Las Vegas poker economy afloat. Number 1. Phil Ivey breaks Vegas. The man who has perhaps taken the most money from bracelet bets is also probably the man who has taken the most money from other poker players in general, Phil Ivey. The biggest single wager he is rumored to have made on bracelets was with Howard Lederer, a 2-year bet between 2010 and 11 that Ivey couldn't win 2 bracelets. The bet was reported to be worth $5 million to each man. Ivey won a bracelet in 2010, but he didn't in 2011 because he chose not to play the WSOP after Black Friday, so he lost the bet. It may have been his biggest single bet, but his biggest year for bracelet bets came in 2009 when he won 2 bracelets prior to the main event. The amount he won in bracelet bets from that one event is unknown, but Elielezra revealed that he alone lost $400,000 to Ivey, and we know Daniel Negrano would have also paid out $400,000. Those 2 confirmed amounts were also double the official first prizes on offer for the events he had won them in. To prove how insignificant the prize money in the actual tournament was, Ivey stood up after winning one event and asked aloud, "So how much is the first place anyways?" Ivey was not done yet and gave the high-stakes community a real scare by making the November 9, all the while booking more bracelet bets. One of the best documented bets of which was with Andy Block, who with 2,500 players left in the event offered Ivey odds of 99 to 1. Tom Duan was also rumored to be on the hook to lose $1 million to Ivey, and Phil Gordon was said to be risking a very large amount and was quaking in his boots as Ivey got deep. Luckily for the high-stakes community, it would not be Ivey's day at the final table as he exited early in 7th position. So those were the top 5 poker bracelet bets of all time. If you enjoyed this video, do leave a like, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.